Stop what you're doing right now. I'm about to tell you something so simple, yet so powerful, it could completely shift the way your life unfolds in just 3 days. And it all starts with olive oil. Not just cooking oil, not some fancy supplement, just olive oil. Stick with me for the next few minutes and you'll see why this little ritual could unlock opportunities, joy, and miracles you didn't even know were possible. Here's the secret: life isn't about waiting for luck. It's about creating the space for it to happen. When you put olive oil here, yes here, in a spot that matters to you, for 3 days, you're sending a clear signal to the universe. You're saying, I am ready, I am open, I am deserving. And here's the kicker: when you commit to this small act consistently, your mind starts noticing doors you never saw before. People, chances, ideas, they start appearing as if by magic. Olive oil is not just a kitchen staple. It carries centuries of symbolism and meaning, especially when we look at its historical and cultural significance. Across various cultures and spiritual traditions, olive oil has been regarded as a sacred substance, a symbol of abundance, healing, and protection. In biblical times, it was used in anointing rituals, not only to bless but also to mark someone as chosen, purified, or ready for transformation. This act of applying olive oil was more than physical. It was symbolic of opening oneself to receive something greater, a channel for energy, opportunity, and divine favor. In the context of life rituals, this symbolism is crucial because it taps into the human mind's natural ability to connect physical acts with mental and emotional intention. When you deliberately put olive oil in a specific place for a period of 3 days, you're essentially creating a modern-day ritual. The act itself, simple as it may seem, communicates a sense of readiness and openness to life's possibilities. It is this deliberate intention, combined with a tangible action, that triggers subtle shifts in perception. Our brains are wired to respond to symbolic acts. When we engage in a meaningful, repeated behavior, it signals our subconscious that something important is happening. This is why rituals work. They align our conscious desires with subconscious readiness. The olive oil acts as a focal point, a physical reminder that we are inviting abundance and positive change into our lives. It's a simple yet profound way to reframe your mindset, to shift your energy, and to open doors that may have previously gone unnoticed. This is not magic in a fantastical sense, but a combination of psychological priming, symbolic action, and alignment with intention. By understanding olive oil as more than a substance and seeing it as a tool for creating a ritual, you engage both your mind and your environment in a subtle dance that encourages the flow of opportunities, healing, and transformation, making it a surprisingly powerful catalyst for change. The idea of a daily ritual may sound simple, but it carries a depth that most people overlook. Rituals are powerful because they transform ordinary actions into intentional acts that signal to our mind and body that something significant is happening. When you commit to putting olive oil in a specific place for 3 consecutive days, it becomes more than just a task. It becomes a deliberate pattern of behavior that primes your subconscious for change. Consistency in these small actions creates a rhythm, a structure, and a sense of purpose. Each time you perform the ritual, you reinforce the idea that you are actively participating in the creation of your own life, rather than passively waiting for circumstances to change. This repetitive action builds momentum, and momentum, no matter how small, has the power to shift perception, attention, and energy. It is this rhythm that allows your mind to focus on the potential outcomes and the opportunities around you, making you more attuned to the subtle signs and coincidences that can lead to real-life miracles. Moreover, the ritual transforms the act itself into a form of mindfulness, a pause in the day to reconnect with your intentions. It teaches patience, persistence, and the understanding that meaningful results are often the product of small, consistent actions rather than instant solutions. Psychologically, when we create a 3-day window of intentional behavior, we also engage the brain's reward system, which is wired to notice progress, even in minor acts. The olive oil in this context serves as both a physical and symbolic anchor, representing nourishment, abundance, and the care we give to our own lives. By performing this ritual, you are telling yourself that your goals, your desires, and your well-being are worthy of attention, and that even a simple, consistent act can generate a powerful ripple effect. The beauty of this process is that it doesn't rely on external validation. Its strength comes entirely from the intentionality, presence, and consistency that you bring to the ritual itself, creating a subtle but profound shift in both mindset and life experience. The principle of manifestation is often misunderstood as something mystical or distant, but at its core, it's a deeply practical process rooted in psychology, intention, and consistent action. When we talk about small, consistent actions triggering unexpected positive outcomes, we're really talking about how the mind and behavior interact with the world around us. By consciously performing a simple act, like placing olive oil in a meaningful spot for 3 days, you are not just going through a ritual, you are programming your attention and energy toward what you want to see unfold in your life. The human mind is wired to notice patterns, and when you repeatedly take an action that symbolizes openness, abundance, or healing, your brain starts scanning for opportunities that align with that intention. These unexpected positive outcomes are often things you would have overlooked if you weren't actively engaged in the process. Manifestation is not about wishing, it's about aligning your mindset, energy, and behavior with the life you want to attract. Small, consistent actions matter because they create a feedback loop. Action leads to attention, attention leads to recognition of opportunities, recognition encourages further action, and that momentum gradually compounds into meaningful results. Olive oil in this context becomes a tangible representation of your commitment. Each day you perform the act, it strengthens your internal focus and subtly shifts your environment to reflect the energy you are putting out. This alignment is the key. The universe, chance encounters, and seemingly random opportunities respond to the clarity and consistency of your intention. Over time, the repetition of even the smallest gestures builds trust in yourself, reinforces belief in your ability to create change, and primes both your mind and your surroundings to support new possibilities. The miracles that appear are often less about magic and more about your perception and preparedness. You become someone who is ready to see, act on, and seize the opportunities that were always there, but you hadn't been consciously aligned to notice until now. Olive oil is often celebrated for its healing properties, and this extends far beyond its culinary uses. Its benefits are both physical and symbolic, which makes it a unique tool in rituals designed to invite positive change. On a physical level, olive oil is rich in nutrients, antioxidants, and healthy fats that nourish the body and protect cells from damage. When applied externally, it soothes, moisturizes, and helps repair skin, acting almost like a gentle barrier against stress and environmental strain. This protective quality mirrors the psychological effect it can have in a ritual context. The act of putting olive oil in a specific place, whether it's on an altar, a personal space, or a symbolic object, creates a physical reminder that you are investing in care and protection, not just for the space, but for yourself. Our minds are wired to associate tangible acts with meaning, and when you involve something as potent as olive oil, you are anchoring a sense of safety, renewal, and restoration. Beyond physical health, olive oil has long been associated with clarity and focus in spiritual traditions. Anointing with oil has historically been used to prepare individuals for transformation, to sharpen attention, and to clear energy. When incorporated into a 3-day ritual, it serves as a daily prompt that encourages mindfulness and intentionality, helping you approach your goals with calm confidence and clarity. This combination of physical nourishment and symbolic power makes the act of using olive oil surprisingly impactful. Each time you place it with intention, you reinforce a sense of self-care and readiness, signaling to both your conscious and subconscious mind that you are prepared to receive the positive changes you desire. Over time, these repeated actions build momentum, and your perception begins to shift. You start noticing opportunities, solutions, and connections that might have gone unseen before. Olive oil, in this sense, becomes more than a natural product. It becomes a tool for aligning body, mind, and environment, subtly opening the door for transformation in a way that is tangible, soothing, and profoundly effective. If you want to see the miracles for yourself, grab your olive oil right now. Commit to the next 3 days. Don't overthink it, just take action. And keep watching, because what I'm about to share next will amplify everything you just started. One of the most powerful aspects of any ritual or intentional act is the psychological trigger it creates. Human beings are wired to respond to cues in their environment, and these cues can shape our perception, decisions, and even the opportunities we notice. When you perform a simple act like placing olive oil in a specific spot for 3 consecutive days, you are creating a psychological signal to yourself that something significant is happening. This signal primes your brain to pay attention in ways it wouldn't ordinarily. It's not magic, it's neuroscience. Our minds are built to recognize patterns, and when you introduce a consistent, intentional behavior, your subconscious begins to tune into the details that matter, making you more alert, receptive, and aware of possibilities that might have previously gone unnoticed. This heightened awareness often feels like miracles because you start noticing things you would have ignored before. People, opportunities, and small coincidences appear more frequently simply because your attention is aligned with your intentions. Beyond just noticing, the ritual also engages the brain's reward system. Completing a small, meaningful act consistently triggers a sense of accomplishment and reinforces the behavior, creating a loop of positive reinforcement. Over time, this builds confidence and a belief that your actions have power, which is essential for taking further steps toward your goals. The olive oil acts as a physical anchor, grounding this psychological process in a tangible sensory experience. Every time you see or touch it, your mind is reminded of your intention, and that reminder strengthens the connection between your actions and your desired outcomes. The beauty of this process is subtle. It doesn't require extraordinary effort, elaborate ceremonies, or even constant thought. It works because the simple act creates a bridge between your conscious desire and your subconscious readiness, aligning your perception with the changes you want to attract. In this way, the ritual becomes a tool for awareness, focus, and psychological alignment, helping you notice and act on opportunities that might have previously passed by unnoticed, ultimately opening the door to unexpected positive shifts in your life. Faith and action are two sides of the same coin, and their alignment is what often leads to results that feel miraculous. Many people think miracles are random or purely a matter of luck, but in reality, they often happen when preparation meets openness and intention. Faith alone, without action, can leave potential untapped, and action alone, without belief or purpose, can feel hollow. When you engage in a small intentional ritual, like placing olive oil in a meaningful spot for 3 consecutive days, you are combining both elements in a simple yet powerful way. The act itself is a tangible form of action, a demonstration that you are willing to invest time, energy, and focus into creating change. At the same time, faith is embedded in the intention behind the act. You are signaling to yourself and to the world that you trust the process and believe that positive outcomes are possible. This combination creates a unique state of readiness. Your mind begins to look for alignment, opportunities, and solutions that might have been invisible before, while your energy subtly shifts to attract circumstances that resonate with your intention. The power of this principle lies in its simplicity. You don't need grand gestures or complex strategies. Small, deliberate actions rooted in belief accumulate momentum, and the consistent pairing of faith and action opens doors that might otherwise remain closed. There is also a psychological component at play. Humans respond to what we commit to and believe in, often unconsciously. By actively performing a ritual with intention, you are training your mind to be proactive, to recognize possibilities, and to act when opportunity arises. Over time, this alignment between faith and action reinforces self-trust and cultivates a sense of personal power. It teaches that miracles are not purely external events. They are also reflections of internal alignment, readiness, and consistent effort. When these elements come together, even through something as simple as a 3-day olive oil ritual, the results can be surprisingly profound, creating shifts in circumstances, perception, and energy that feel as though life itself is responding to your commitment. Energy alignment is a subtle yet powerful force that often goes unnoticed in daily life. Every thought, action, and intention we hold emits a kind of energy that interacts with our environment, influencing not only our own mindset, but also the people and situations around us. When you take a simple, consistent action, like placing olive oil in a specific spot for 3 consecutive days, you are consciously aligning your energy with your desires. This isn't about magic in the fantastical sense. It's about creating harmony between what you want and how you act. By committing to this small ritual, you are sending a clear signal that you are ready to receive abundance, clarity, or positive transformation. The body and mind respond to these cues in ways that are both physiological and psychological. Your focus sharpens, your awareness heightens, and you become more receptive to opportunities that match the energy you are projecting. This alignment also has a reinforcing effect. The act of consistency itself strengthens your intention, which in turn strengthens the energy you are emitting. Over time, this creates a feedback loop where your actions, focus, and intentions all move in the same direction, amplifying the potential for change. Energy alignment also extends beyond the self. When your energy is coherent and intentional, it subtly influences your surroundings, attracting situations and people who resonate with the same frequency. This is why simple, small rituals can feel so powerful. They serve as an anchor that grounds your energy, helping it stay focused and undiluted, which allows the natural flow of life to respond in kind. By intentionally aligning your energy through repeated, meaningful acts, you create a framework for transformation that feels both intentional and effortless. The olive oil, in this context, becomes more than a substance. It becomes a tool to channel your focus and intention, transforming a small, everyday act into a vehicle for personal and environmental harmony. It demonstrates how the consistent alignment of energy, intention, and action can subtly yet profoundly shape your reality, making it easier to recognize and receive the positive changes you are seeking. The concept of a transformation window is both practical and psychological, and it highlights the importance of time in creating meaningful change. A 3-day period may seem short, but it is actually the perfect balance between commitment and momentum. It's long enough to establish a rhythm, to reinforce intention, and to prime your mind for noticing opportunities, yet short enough to prevent overwhelm or resistance that can come with long, drawn-out rituals. By dedicating 3 consecutive days to a simple, intentional act, like placing olive oil in a meaningful spot, you are creating a focused window in which your energy, attention, and actions are all aligned toward a specific goal. This window works because it creates a clear beginning and end, giving your mind a structured time frame to fully commit to the process. During these days, each repetition strengthens the connection between action and intention, building momentum that can carry beyond the 3 days themselves. The act becomes more than symbolic. It becomes a habit of attentiveness, a way of training your subconscious to notice the opportunities, people, or ideas that resonate with your desired outcome. Short-term rituals like this also tap into the psychology of micro-commitments. Our brains respond strongly to completing small, manageable tasks over a set period, reinforcing belief, confidence, and a sense of progress. The transformation window is not about forcing change immediately. It's about creating conditions where change can naturally emerge. It primes your mind to be receptive, your energy to be aligned, and your behavior to be consistent, which in turn increases the likelihood of positive outcomes. The 3-day time frame provides just enough intensity to make the ritual feel significant, while remaining practical and achievable, preventing burnout or distraction. This is why even a simple 3-day act can feel profound. It demonstrates that transformation does not require monumental effort, but rather deliberate, consistent, and focused engagement over a defined period. By understanding and utilizing this window, you set the stage for breakthroughs that might otherwise take much longer to occur, showing how small, intentional time frames can create powerful momentum and open the door for meaningful change. So here's the truth. Life isn't about waiting for luck, random miracles, or sudden breakthroughs. It's about creating the space for them to happen. By committing to something as simple as placing olive oil in a meaningful spot for just 3 days, you're doing far more than a small act. You're sending a signal to your mind, your energy, and the world around you that you are ready to receive abundance, clarity, and transformation. Each day, with intention and consistency, you align your thoughts, actions, and energy, preparing yourself to notice opportunities, embrace healing, and welcome unexpected blessings. What seems small on the surface, 3 days, a bottle of olive oil, carries the power of ritual, symbolism, momentum, and alignment. It's a reminder that miracles aren't always sudden or dramatic. They often arrive in the form of subtle shifts, moments of clarity, and doors opening just when you're ready to walk through them. By taking these steps, you're not just hoping for change, you're actively creating it. And once you commit, even for a short window of 3 days, you'll see how the combination of intention, action, and faith can transform your mindset, your perception, and ultimately your life. So start now, embrace the process, and watch how life responds when you say, with both your heart and your actions, I am ready.